Malala Yousufzai was born on July 12, 1997 in Mingora, the largest city in the Swat Valley in Pakistan. She is the daughter of Ziauddin and Tehrik-e Yousufzai and has two younger brothers. Yousafzai was the first of three children born to Ziauddin and Tehrik-e Yousufzai. Although it was not always easy to raise a girl child in Pakistan, Malala Yousufzai's father insisted that she received all of the same opportunities afforded to boy children. Her father was a teacher and education advocate who ran a girls' school in the village. Due to his influence, Yousafzai was passionate about knowledge from a very young age, and she would often waddle into her father's classes before she could even talk. In 2007, when Malala was 10 years old, the situation in the Swat Valley rapidly changed for her family and community. The Taliban began to control the Swat Valley. Girls were banned from attending school, and cultural activities like dancing and watching television were prohibited. Suicide attacks were widespread, and girls' education was specifically targeted by the Taliban, and by the end of 2008, they had destroyed over 400 schools. At 11 years old, Yousafzai decided to stand up to the Taliban. Determined to go to school and with a firm belief in her right to an education, Malala stood up to the Taliban. Alongside her father, Malala quickly became a critic of their tactics. "How dare the Taliban take away my basic rights to education?" she once said on Pakistani TV. On October 9, 2012, 15-year-old Yousafzai was on the bus returning from school with her friends. Two members of the Taliban stopped the bus and asked, "Who is Malala?" When they identified Yousafzai, they shot her in the head. Fortunately, she was airlifted to a Pakistani military hospital and then taken to an intensive care unit in England. After 10 days in a medically induced coma, Yousafzai woke up in a hospital in Birmingham, England. She had suffered no major brain damage, but the left side of her face was paralyzed, and she would require many reparative surgeries and rehabilitation. After months of medical treatment, Yousafzai was able to return to her family that now lived in England. In March 2013, Yousafzai began attending school in Birmingham. Although she was now able to attend school in England, she decided to keep fighting until every girl could go to school. On her 16th birthday, Yousafzai spoke at the United Nations in New York. That same year, she published her autobiography entitled "I'm Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban." In 2014, Yousafzai and her father established the Malala Fund to internationally support and advocate for women and girls. The Malala Fund advocates for quality education for all girls by funding education projects internationally, partnering with global leaders and local advocates, and pioneering innovative strategies to empower young women. In December of 2014, Yousafzai was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work. At age 17, she became the youngest person to be named a Nobel laureate. Since then, Yousafzai has continued to advocate for the rights of women and girls. Every year, July 12 is celebrated as Malala Day across the world. This day is celebrated all over the world to respect the rights of women and children. It's noteworthy that the United Nations has declared the birthday of Pakistan's child and women's rights activist Malala Yousafzai as this day. On this day, 16-year-old Pakistani origin Malala Yousafzai delivered her famous speech on girls' education at United Nations.
One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world.